Sinead, this is your first time on the show where you can hear the music leading into the show.
I was going to say, I did not ever notice that before, maybe. Or, yeah, that sounds great, you guys.
Oh,
Who
thanks.
recorded that?
That's Eric Bass from Shinedown. The other founding member of the quadrant of who will be on Joshbury tomorrow with Brent Smith, the lead singer of Shinedown.
Excellent.
And I think we should maybe get you and Nils in here for a Joshbury, or maybe you and KDV versus each other, or maybe you and Drew Dorothy. Any of the clever girls want to compete again? Because remember, Joshbury is not about what's in your brain. It's about the answers that you say out of your mouth.
Kelly would be good to compete with Friends because obviously we've watched an equal amount of Friends.
Yeah. I can do Friends, and then we can do Friends trivia up top for the first 20 questions, and then Josh Macuga trivia, like my style of trivia.
Oh, yeah. Then I could do that with anybody.
Okay.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I get it now.
You walked your way into what you wanted to happen.
Yeah. I just always assume that at the drop of the hat, I need to be prepared to do Friends trivia.
Well, I mean, I think that's reasonable. Tomorrow's guest, Claire McNear, she wrote the Jeopardy book, which is on the counter over there. I should have brought it on. It's called Answers in the Form of Questions. She's a writer at The Ringer. And I asked her, I was like, hey, if you ever want to compete in Joshbury, I'd love to have you. And she goes, I have sworn off trivia because every interview I did when I was first promoting the book, we're like, we're going to spring some trivia on you. She's like, stop it. I don't do trivia. Yes.
If you actually wrote the book, something like that, that would probably get real annoying real quick.
Real fast. So we thought we'd do some trivia with you, Claire, writer of Let's Go to Jerry. Also tomorrow, we're going to debut, Ikaika and I are going to figure it out for the show, the first edition of the Positivity Report, Weather. We're going to do some weather.
Wow, that's a big job, you guys.
I know.
Do you ever watch news bloopers?
All of the time. Yeah.
Sometimes I fall into black holes of watching news bloopers, and my favorite is the weather report where they accidentally draw something extremely inappropriate behind them.
Yeah, it's usually a penis. Yeah. What? Did I make the joke?
No, is that the loudest fire truck we've ever heard in our lives?
Well, I was telling you, Kaika, when I walked in this morning, and before we get to welcome to the Positivity Report, I'm Josh Macuga, that's Sinead de Vries. This is the Good People Association. You can become members of the Bucket Club, all that kind of fun stuff. Learn what we're doing, the GPA.fun, the streamlabs.com/goodpeoplegpa. You can super chat in the chat over here. We appreciate everybody that is in the chat. Also, today on the show, Leanne Mason, a good friend. Her brother was one of the original founding members of the Casual Mafia, which was the original name of this channel. She's a college professor. She's going to be on the teacher feature. And my cousin, Dr. Joe Marshalek, in our family we call him Joey, but as a doctor, you kind of have to go by Joe, I think. It's a little more
Dr. Joe.
Dr. Joe. And he's going to be on very soon as well. He's coming on at 9:20. Leanne's coming on at 9:10. I believe the paddle was thrown up. Ikaika Shively, the Hawaiian Hunk, Prince of the Islands, Aloha Friday. What do we got?
You have to also remember we have this for Friday.
What do we have? Oh, look, he's got...
Whoa.
Oh, that's right. We've got the VR Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
So he's going to scare me.
I was going to say, are you doing something scary?
Yes, of course. And we've been playing this game called Little Giant. Little Halloween. Little Night. Mark Riley's in the house. The mic's not on. He's just there.
It's on now.
It's on now. Good. I'll be here. Hi.
He's wearing his always Jaws hat.
I mean, you have to represent.
Yeah. I like that Mark's still looking at the camera, but there's not a camera on him.
You have to represent your culture, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm staring off into existential dread over there.
Yeah. So, Mark, it's great to see you, Mark.
Great to be here.
Always a pleasure. So my cousin Joe was going to be here at 9:20. Leanne's at 9:10. But so we've been playing this game, Sinead. It's called Little Nightmares. Okay, and it's this.
How did you said Little Giant first?
Yeah, I know. I keep calling Little Giants, but that's wrong.
He's been doing that all week.
Little Giant.
Remember the movie?
The movie with Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Ed
O'Neill.
Oh, that's why you're
Icebox.
doing it. Did you watch it? Did you watch this week?
It's just a good movie.
I've been talking about the annexation of Puerto Rico a lot.
I know that it's the name of a movie, but
that's a play that they do in Little Giants. Yeah.
Giant to Nightmares is still a huge leap. So I was wondering how your brain got to that.
It's kind of like Big Little Lies and Little Fires Everywhere. I was just calling it Big Little Fires for a long time.
But isn't that also is it David E. Kelly did both of those?
I think so.
And then there's Big Skies.
Yeah, and Big Sky.
He just won't make anything unless he can put big big or little or fires.
Something like that. And
Yeah.
Big Little Fires was basically just Reese Witherspoon in Ohio this time.
Yeah, no, it was the same show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much. The girl that's in Big Little Lies, though, who plays the daughter, the older daughter, to Reese Witherspoon, was in the charity golf tournament yesterday at Pebble Beach, and that girl can stripe it.
The little one?
No, the teenage daughter.
Oh, you're saying Little Fires Everywhere. You said Big Little Lies.
No, I'm saying Big Little Lies.
Oh.
See, now we're both confused.
But she only has one daughter? Oh, I see.
Do you
The
know what I
other
mean?
daughter. The
The other
daughter
daughter.
who's in like everything.
Correct. Catherine Newton is her name?
Yes,
Kat
she's
Newton?
in every
Yeah.
single thing. That's great.
Yeah.
I can't play golf to save my life.
Yeah.
I can play some mean putt-putt. though.
Well, we've heard this before, Sinead.
Just so you guys know.
Yeah, until we took Mark and Ikaika to the driving range. We've told the story a few times, but
You
on
say
Friday, Mark swings the club a little daintily.
Aw,
230 yards the other day.
wow. That's wonderful.
Hot roll on cement that he
know
got
what?
there.
That is, I think that's great.
Oh, man. This is the Positivity Report. We're here every single day, 9 a.m. Pacific. Sinead, this might be your last episode before I have a baby.
Oh my God, I know. Is that
Yeah,
crazy?
I know.
Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Dude, my heart just started pounding.
I'm freaking out, man. Last night, so Amanda, apparently this morning, and because Ikaika said, have you been having nightmares? This little nightmares game is terrifying, Sinead. It's terrifying. There's this little girl trying to get out of a ship run by like creepy monsters. Okay? It's terrifying. It's dark. It's scary.
That is horrible.
It's horrible. And she's dressed like the kid in It. She's got like this little yellow raincoat, and she's got to run through this boat and get like cranks and keys, and it's terrifying. Anyway, so this morning, apparently, because Amanda can't sleep at all, obviously, we've been trying to do everything we can to help her sleep. Nothing's working.
She's so over it. I
She's
bet.
just over it.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so apparently this morning at around 3:30, 4 a.m., I was like, get out of here, you old bag! In my sleep. So I think I was like trying to fight off a monster.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Is she having weird dreams?
No, she doesn't have as many weird dreams as I do.
The craziest, I have to take this off. I picked the wrong earrings,
Oh,
and
no.
I have like 14 in this ear. The craziest dream I remember having was I was being chased around by giant fruit right towards the end.
Like Fruit Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like actual fruit ninja in real life, which was like something I had literally spoken about. Like that's like a worst case scenario nightmare. And then I'm pretty sure that night I had this crazy dream where I had to I was getting pummeled like in the face.
Like-
Not like giant fruit, like just like
Bigger than normal
weirdly,
fruit.
awkwardly oversized fruit, you know?
Have you been to Italy before?
No, I've never been.
Okay, so when you and Nils finally go to Italy for your honeymoon.
I can't. He already honeymooned there once.
Oh, damn it. Son of a bitch.
I was like, "Are you kidding me? Did you not know when you got married the first time that was not going to work out? How dare you not think of me?"
Whoopsie daisies.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, so now we can't go there.
I'm sure his ex swung a golf club very daintily. So.
You know what? His ex is wonderful. You can't
son
even
of a-
can't even hate on her, you know?
Look at that.
Come on.
I'm a producer. I'm going to pull the plug.
We have our teacher feature, a college professor, Leanne Doherty Mason. Leanne Mason, she's an amazing human. She saw me sweat through a dance floor like you wouldn't believe. I sweated so much that my shirt started wrinkling. Like it started like it was like a fabric that like crinkled, sort of
Yeah.
like seersucker, but it wasn't seersucker so much.
You are incredibly sweaty.
Yes,
Yeah.
this we know. We got to give a shout out to our boy Garrett Farney, golf pro in Illinois. He's a legendary guy. Happy Thursday, everyone! I'm sitting here on my day off drinking whiskey at 11 a.m. because it's 5 degrees out. LOL. He lives outside Chicago. Sinead, you know those Chicago winters well.
Ooh, yeah, I lived outside Chicago for a long time.
Not the best.
You know, I don't miss freezing, but I do
No.
love Chicago so
Yeah,
much. It's the best
Chicago's
city.
amazing. Yesterday in the
You know what
Crockpot.
I said? It is the best city.
It's not.
It is.
It's one of the best cities, but it's not Pittsburgh. So
It's fine. Everyone in Chicago knows that Chicago's the best city.
you've never been to Pittsburgh.
But we're never like outwardly, you know, we're not like from like LA. We're like, oh my God, LA is amazing. In Chicago, you're just like in your head, you're like, we know that this is the best city. We just won't say it out loud to keep up the allure that we're very humble.
I will say that we did a bachelor party in Chicago on Memorial Day weekend a few years ago, and it was unreal. Like it is. That city is pretty amazing.
Isn't everyone so nice?
Yeah, yeah. And they don't make you feel bad when you order like the third hot dog. You're like, is that all you want? I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe I
They're
should
like,
get 4
it's Chicago. You need to eat a minimum of 7 hot dogs.
a day. Yeah. So let's welcome in Leanne Mason, our teacher feature. Leanne.
Oh, hello.
How
Can
are
y'all
you?
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can't see. Oh,
Awesome.
there you are. How
Here
are
I
you?
am. Oh, Josh, it's been a year. Hi.
It's been a year so far, and it's just February, huh?
Right?
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's great. It's great. Thanks for being here.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. A little backstory. Leanne's brother, Matty, he did he was an original member of the Casual Mafia. You know this, and he is a MFing scientist. One of the funniest scientists you'll ever meet. So the whole family, very, very intelligent. You know,
Yeah.
Kristen
Yeah,
Doherty,
sure.
a big fan of hers as well. Maddie's sister, your sister, and
Yep.
Leanne, a college professor. Now tell everybody what it is that you do here.
So I am a professor of American politics
Wow.
at Simmons University in Boston.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not been stressful at all the last 4 years, or the last 2 months, or the last couple of weeks. So yeah, who knew? When I was growing up, this is the last job I thought I'd ever have, but I've been doing it for 20 years now. So
Oh
it's
my
been
God.
great, and I love my students and I love my colleagues. But American politics is not necessarily positive all the time. So we're here and we're just trying to do our best. But I am funnier than Maddie.
Yeah. Well,
Which everybody doesn't. He may be smarter than me, but I'm funnier. I just never was discovered.
that,
So I've taken my talents to political science.
You know, I feel your
Yeah.
struggle. I totally understand that. Never discovered.
Right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Chris? You know, you can't be smart and funny, right? Like, it's
No.
hard. So,
but I would imagine your students love your attempts at political humor.
well, you know, I gotta say, I have a little joy comes to me when I can perform. You know, that's the hard part about teaching remotely right now. You can't improv as much as you might want to. So because a lot of it is just now background behind me, right, where we're staging lectures. But my students have been so great, and I do get to be a little more flexible. But the funniest part is when I do these lectures now, I laugh at my own jokes, which is really embarrassing. And so my husband, Mark, who you know, Josh, as well,
do.
who's a high school teacher,
Amazing guy. Yeah.
makes fun of me all the time because he can hear me recording, and I'm laughing about something like, you know, policy analysis, and I'm like, and because no one's laughing with me.
Yes.
But the students seem to be responding to it well, and I don't worry about making fun of myself. But the real critic is Donovan, who is your infamous dance partner
He's
from
the
my
best.
brother's wedding.
Yes. Yeah.
Who was 4 at the time, and you had him on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And we were scared
Yeah.
because you were into it.
Yeah.
And there is photo and video evidence, and now you're going to have a child, and don't put them on your shoulders when you're dancing at weddings is the only thing I want to say. I didn't care so much about the sweat. I was afraid you were going to drop it more
Listen,
than anything. So
I even when intoxicated, I will hold on for dear life because I've done it multiple times with children at weddings. On the shoulders, it goes up there, and the look from parents' face is always the same. Oh God. Oh,
yeah, it was
God.
more like I played basketball in college, so I was just ready for the rebound, right? Like if he had come anywhere, it was going to be like, we got him.
We got him.
You know? And you know his grandparents were there keeping
Yeah.
an eye on him too, because he was the first at the time, and now there's multiple.
So, funny story about the elder Doherty. So I'm going to say Jim Doherty, the dad of the family. We played golf together one time, and we got out there. He's like, you can call me Diamond Jim. He's got this thick Boston accent. I was like, I'm not calling you Diamond Jim, just so you know. Okay.
You're like, no, I will not be doing that.
Oh, but you want to, because he'll buy you beers if you do that.
Correct,
So, like,
yeah.
you got to play the Big Jim, Diamond Jim.
Absolutely.
the whole
I mean, he still bought me beers at the turn. It's totally fine.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
He should.
So you said you didn't think you'd end up being a college professor. What was the original plan for Leanne? See what I
Well,
did
you
there?
know, it's not unknown. I'm the first Darty to go to college on our side, and so I thought I'd get a good job with a pension, right? That's
Right.
what you always thought. You'd either, get a state job or, be a lawyer, because I liked that stuff. And I went to college not really knowing how to study. School kind of came easy to me in high school, and then college, you kind of learn how to be a student.
Yeah.
And I played basketball. So I tried a lot of stuff, and I was mentored. When I went for my PhD, a faculty member there where I got my PhD grew up in Somerville and kind of saw himself in me. And all of a sudden I'm getting a PhD, and all of a sudden I'm, teaching college. It's a lot of my loves, right? I love interacting with people. I'm really extroverted. I really think it's important that people understand systems and the systems that they live in, even before we all started to care about that. Right now, every fire pit I go to, because I'm looking outside right now at 17 inches of snow in Metro West Massachusetts. So your only social event is standing around a fire pit with your friends.
Yeah.
But the last couple of weeks, more and more people want to know what the Electoral College is. And, I've been saying this for 30 years. So I think that, it's a passion of mine to especially get women and people of color into politics, and because of the underrepresentation. So this is a good platform for me. And honestly, musical theater didn't work out, Josh. I tried. I was, I really enjoyed all the songs. We were in the car the other day and Mark reminded me that, I chose politics over musical theater to stop singing at the top of my lungs.
Don't quit your day job there, Leanne.
Don't quit your day job, Leanne, huh? Just because you're from New Orleans and you're cool, Mark. We not all of us can be like that. But yeah, it's the intersection, right?
Yeah.
I love students. I'm not good. I coach my son's basketball team, which is fun too. I like being the lady coach.
Yeah.
Like with the lady refs and the lady doctors.
Yeah.
Which I just think is funny anyway. No, I'm just the coach. You don't have to put the ladies. Like we were the Cougars in college. And then we were the lady Cougars. I was just like, but Cougars are Cougars. Like you're not.
Depending on where you are in Orange County there, Leanne, Cougars are Cougars, 100%.
Well, it's funny. You West Coast kids, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But, it's been a while since I've been able to get out there to see all the relatives. So
yeah.
You guys
Yeah. So how, and Sinead, I think will agree with me on this one. Living out here, we kind of are in a bit of a bubble politically wise sometimes.
Yep.
And you forget that there are a lot of people that see the world in very different. How do you toe the line without getting your own political beliefs involved?
It's funny. An alum came to a talk I gave a couple of weeks ago, and she said, and from almost 20 years ago, and she said, "Oh, I finally figured out what political party you are. It only took me 20 years." So I've been doing this a long time, right? And so I think until relatively recently, you could have disagreements about something like tax policy, right?
Sure.
Maybe you wanted a flat tax, maybe you wanted a progressive tax. That's a debate. I think when the debates became racist and homophobic and gendered and, really became institutionalized, something that people have experienced all the time, but then they became public, that's when you're not really talking about politics anymore. So you set the ground rules around knowing that people come from different spaces and different experiences. And it's my job as a faculty member not to tell you what to think, but to control dialogue, right? Okay. To make sure that the classroom is a safe space. And I'm not into trigger warnings and I'm not into that stuff. You can't talk about these things and not get triggered eventually. But just this kind of idea that everyone's from that different space. But there are parameters we won't talk about, right? You can disagree about immigration policy, but if you say that someone's coming over the border and they're going to rape you because they're an immigrant, that in itself is not a policy discussion.
Right.
So, you've got to find the balance. I'm also not into this cancel culture stuff either. We need to remember that the discourse has become problematic in many ways. And so you establish kind of, well, maybe let's think deeper. Why would someone think like that? Is there an economic issue? Is there an education issue? And so I would love to see everybody take a civics class and read a newspaper. Stop watching CNN and Fox. Right. Well, I hope I didn't lose a sponsor for you. But read a newspaper. Read it. Just read. If I could tell anybody, just read a newspaper. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
Because it won't be so heightened. Get off. Stop Twitter scrolling. Doom scrolling. And you don't have to agree with everyone, and it's okay to call somebody racist, homophobic, and the like. Those are very different things than being political, right? That's being ideological, demagogic, whatever the words you want to use.
What is the most interesting thing that a student has ever come up and, I don't know, asked you, or because I remember going up to, I had a religious studies teacher in a similar sense that because I grew up Catholic, right? And I took this religious studies class in college, and I went up to the teacher at the end and I said, "What religion are you?" And he said back to me, "The fact that you have to ask me this question makes me realize I did my job, because I didn't come across as favoring any other religion." Right. So
and I think, I would agree. I think that is my goal. My goal is, if I had one goal, is to get students to vote. I don't care how you vote, but you need to vote. And I think we saw when folks realized that, things actually change. And so I have more stories from alums that come back and say, "I can't believe I'm doing this now, and it's because of what you said." or what you did. And it's that aha moment for students makes me so happy.
That's
I don't
amazing.
need to hear it in the moment, but it's an amazing feeling to have someone, and especially I teach at a women's-centered institution where anyone who identifies as a woman can attend. And a lot of times that makes things different in the classroom for them. They find their voice. It sounds simplistic and the like, but when you're surrounded by folks and you're not competing with these narratives, right? You get to go into the real world and you have this voice, so you can interact in a co-educational space or a multi-gendered space as we have now. But yeah, it's those stories that really get me and makes me love what I do. It's because when I started, I was closer to their age, and now I'm all their parents' age. And so, we're having an event on Saturday night where I know that's going to come up. I do a playlist for every class now because we're remote. And
Oh,
so
man,
when you come into class, there's a song playing, and it's every class we've had, a student's been like, oh, that's on my dad's college mixtape. He let me listen to it, and they're 18, and I'm like, oh, I'm so Gen
You're
X.
like,
So my
no
reaction is
comments,
so dead
please.
inside too. I'm like, that's really not how to get on my good graces. But it's little stuff like that I like when students get to know me. You don't have to know everything about me, but a playlist is a great way to get to know students, especially in this kind of new Zoom environment.
Yeah. No, I think that some of the funnier things that have been going on during this pandemic is students pranking teachers via Zoom. Right, Sinead?
Yeah.
Have any students pranked you or done anything funny via Zoom now?
No, they wouldn't dare.
I was going to say, I think once you're in college, it's like you really are just a fool. But I mean, my best friend, she's in Chicago, but she teaches 12th grade Spanish.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And she, like, those kids, even though they're seniors in high school, they're also seniors in high school. They're on their way out. They're like, oh, we've already been accepted to school. Like, what are we doing here? But she told me that it took her one day, like, half a class to realize that there were kids in the class that were not her students, even though she's had them for like half a year. And she's just like, can you guys get out of here? And they were like, what? Like trying to pretend as if they were her student. She said there was one time somebody like had the lights off the whole class. And she's like, it's like, you're terrifying everybody in this. Just stop. But she says she has such a good attitude about it.
And listen, we're a year into this now.
Yeah.
It's done. We're all done.
Yeah.
You want to see us lose our minds? Do something like that.
Yeah.
And I do think college is much different, and especially my students are incredibly serious and hardworking. But high school, where my husband is, they're done. The teachers are done, and we've lost kind of the grace. If you know what I mean. Like I love that you're doing this because we got to remember, like, they haven't changed. Yes, we all want your students in the classroom. We don't want to be doing this. Yeah. This is not what we signed up for, right? Yeah. And I think there's this assumption that folks are somehow in a space where they're like, oh, no, I'd rather stay home. You know how hard it is to teach from home? Yeah. Like, it's just not, not what we signed up for. And I mean, at least I can do some PowerPoint stuff. Mark teaches poetry and English.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, he's like fancy, knows stuff. And like, I think if I was to like say anything, and this is why this is so great. Just remember, we're still all in this together. Yeah. We're still trying to get out of this. It's not perfect, but your kids are gonna be fine. Yeah. They're much more resilient than us. Yeah. They don't know what they miss, right? That's what I was saying to a friend. Like I miss bars. I miss someone making me a cocktail. Yeah. Like Mark and I are been together forever, and like a Chinese restaurant is where it's at for us. Like on a Sunday afternoon watching a football game, right? Sure. Mm-hmm. It's that stuff I miss, and I mean, of course, I miss my siblings. Hi, Maddie and Kristen. But I miss my nephews and my nieces, but the kids don't miss that. They're resilient, Yeah. And we got to give them credit. I think we need to give kids more credit about how amazing they're doing, and how really okay they'll be. Yeah.
Well said, Leanne. You're a breath of fresh air. You're an amazing human, and
oh my God, Josh! I'm just so glad you didn't drop my kid, and I think he's taller than you now too. So it would be a different experience now.
Thanks for throwing that one at me, Leanne. I really appreciate it. Ouch, burn! Taking shots at my height on my way out. Leanne, you're the best. I want to bring you back again because I do want to kind of maybe have like a little bit more of a political discussion just about I mean, I don't, because I feel like you're so down the middle that we could actually have a really nice conversation about things maybe people need to know as opposed to people telling them what they should know.
Yeah, you guys should do like what's happening and then have her explain it. It's a great way because, like you said, like people just need to know these things, you know? But yeah, especially young people who are getting ready to enter a world where their voice can't be heard. But yeah, you guys should do that. Like, hey, this is what's happening. Can you tell us what this means?
Right.
Can I give you one example that I told my students the other day real quick?
Sure.
I don't know if okay, so here's an example, right? We've been following there's a movement afoot to give parents $3,000 per kid every month, right? Mitt Romney made this proposal, right? So we look at that and we're like, wow, that's really, that doesn't make any sense to me. That's not really a Republican proposal. Oh, look at it. Mitt Romney's trying to recalibrate the Republican Party, show that they still care about kids, but he also wants to get rid of some of the welfare funding, right? So it's still a policy decision that makes sense within the Republican Party. It's not that off base to just change the mind. So in my public policy class, students were like, that makes sense to me, right? The idea that you got to look a little deeper than just the tweet that said Mitt Romney's going to give kids money. Right? We've been living in that space for 4 years. Let's try to elevate ourselves out of that space and get back to critical thinking.
Boom. Leanne Mason, I will say Trey T in the chat says, I feel like teachers need a laugh track, which is I would love to get you a laugh track for your Zoom. So when you're joking.
Oh my God.
See? Yep. We just get you a laugh track, and every time your husband doesn't have to make fun of you. You don't have to laugh at your own jokes. You just hit that button. It's like Charles in Charge. You get that jokes when Buddy walks in the door.
And you should not even mention anything to your students. So if you are pre-recording like a lecture or something, just don't even tell them. Never ever reference it. Yeah. Just let it happen.
Just let it
happen. Then just wait for their responses,
I love everything about this. You just made my day. I didn't know. But Josh, I would love to come back, and it was really nice to meet you. And again, you're a great kid, and good luck with the baby. You're going to be such a great dad. I've never met a man that was like, I'm so psyched for you. I am so happy.
When the world reopens, I mean, you can come back here. If you're visiting Maddie or Kristen, come back out. We'd love to have you in studio, whatever. And I appreciate you taking the time, Leanne. Thank you so much.
Not at all. Have a great day, y'all.
You too. Take care. Leanne Mason, professor of awesome. She's just fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
Can I say something real quick?
Go, hit it.
She is so rad.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah, I would love to have her back for a conversation like you suggested.
Absolutely.
I think it is very, very important. Yeah. I can get behind it.
And our teacher features are, again, one of the reasons I started this show, and I say it all the time, is my mom was a teacher, my dad was a teacher. Mm-hmm. Teachers are criminally underpaid and a lot of times underappreciated for what they have to go through. I mean, my mom would come home to 2 boys and have to grade papers from 38 other boys and girls that were just like her 2 dumb sons.
Yep.
And so,
when she was talking about all the things in her family, her husband's also a teacher, right? High school, and he's like a teacher of poetry. And I was thinking about, and you said her brother's a scientist. Yeah. I was thinking about the story you told me that one time your brother farted into a water bottle and then opened it, and smelled it. Yeah, and you threw up. And I literally, that story came into my head as I was like, don't start laughing. Don't start laughing. Don't be rude. Don't start laughing. Because immediately she's like, yeah, my brother, you're like, oh, your brother is a MFing scientist, all this stuff. And I was like, Josh threw up after he smelled his brother's fart in a water bottle. Like, I wanted to say it so bad. I'm like, oh, yeah, and meanwhile, over here. But I just remember that story and how hard we laughed as if we were 12 years old. You told me that story. We were dying laughing.
Yep.
As if I was
so glad you brought that up.
I know. There's two ends of the spectrum, everybody. We can all laugh at ourselves, and then we can do serious stuff and teachers, and we can also
there's that, and then there's me and Josh.
Head on over to the GPA.fun and join our membership levels.
Ooh. Mark, let me know if we get any Streamlabs in there. I appreciate everybody in chat for watching. Next up, my cousin Joe, who is amazing guy. I've said this multiple times. He's the smartest one of all the cousins, right, on my mom's side. The guy's a doctor, right?
Yeah.
The rest of us are professional. We're doing certain things. Obviously, I'm the least professional of all of the cousins. I'm like, I'm out here now. I stand in front of a camera farting into water bottles. But Joe,
new show idea.
So my cousin Joe Marshalek, he obviously grew up in Pittsburgh, big Pittsburgh fan. Went to school in Arizona, went to undergraduate school, got like straight A's across the board, full ride, genius.
Same.
Then he goes back to Pittsburgh. He goes to West Virginia for med school, is like basically saving lives in West Virginia as a medical student, then gets hired out of med school, comes back to California. Now he's at UCLA Harbor. He's a doctor of internal medicine. He works in the ER, graduates from med school, and they're like, hey, here's a pandemic. Good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, my cousin and an absolute legend, Dr. Joe Marshalek.
Yay!
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Look, just so reserved. Just so reserved.
He's
Look
such
at
a
it.
doctor. He's like, hello.
I know. And he's got his scrubs on and everything. Look at you, bud. Look at you. How's everything going? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, everything's going well. At the hospital, things are, as intense as always, as crazy as always. But we are hopeful with the vaccine rolling out. And cases do seem to be decreasing here in LA.
Good.
At a decent pace. So I'm hopeful for this year. We're already vaccinating like most people over 65, other high risk groups. And the 2 vaccines that are, being implemented throughout the United States, they seem to be like 95% effective at preventing cases of moderate to severe pneumonia. So we're definitely, looking forward to better times in the future here,
Yes.
the reopening and the normalization.
Yeah. Now, when you got into medicine, what was like post medical school? You obviously didn't think a pandemic was coming, but what's the goal here? I know we've talked about it, but you can let the people know, like, what was your intention getting into medicine? I was at Dr. Joe's graduation party. I was probably the most intoxicated person there. I was 29 years old and he was graduating high school. So it was pretty sweet. Like, come on, Joe. Pretty good time. But no, so, you go to college, you come out. What was your intention? What was the impetus? What was your inspiration for being a doctor, wanting to be a doctor?
Heck yeah. No, it's funny you bring up my graduation party. We still talk about that. I think you were standing on someone's boyfriend's car at some point.
And my cousin, he was
in the neighborhood. Yeah. But no, so my impetus to getting into medicine,
Thanks,
like,
Joe.
I always loved science, always loved math, and like got involved in some research in undergrad, like breast cancer related research. Took a few medical humanitarian trips to Honduras and Panama. And, really was drawn to the humanity of medicine, being at the bedside with sick patients and their families and trying to help them. And, now being in medicine, even during this tough time, that's magnified. It's difficult, but it's kind of an honor and a privilege. Every day you go to work, you get to like help people, make a difference. So, it's definitely everything I imagine, hope for, and more.
Boom. What do you got, Sinead?
I was going to say, Dr. Joe's really setting the bar high for your family, Josh.
I know. He goes on these humanitarian trips.
Yeah, as soon as he said humanitarian, I was like, whoa. All right, Josh, we got to talk.
I made Jello shots for a tailgate.
He's like, oh, yeah, we still talk about that one time you stood in all the cars in the neighborhood.
yeah, and Joe's like, and then the next day later, I went and saved an entire
Yeah,
village
he's
in
like,
Honduras.
yeah, and then I went to Honduras for a humanitarian trip. I feel like he did that on purpose.
Yeah,
It's balance. Yeah.
it's balance.
That's what I was going to
That's
say.
true.
Balance.
Brings balance to the force. Joe, can you tell us, I guess, like the ups and downs? Because when you first got in there, you guys weren't having a ton of COVID cases, and then it kind of all exploded. What was it like in the ER?
Yeah, so it definitely waxes and wanes here in Los Angeles County and across the country with different waves. The worst it was like last month at the beginning of January, where I think every hospital in Los Angeles County was at capacity. There was actually like an order for ambulances throughout Los Angeles County to sort of if they couldn't get, if someone cardiac arrested, if they couldn't get a return of spontaneous circulation at the scene, don't bring them to the hospital because resources were that thin. Our hospital, we went from 1 medical ICU team to 4, just to accommodate all the critically ill COVID patients, and 6 medicine teams to 9.
Wow.
About 2/3 of the hospital was COVID. We do have good treatments, dexamethasone and remdesivir. we give people oxygen, but it is just one of the more, if not the most really aggressive viral pneumonia we've seen. Some of the doctors have been practicing for 20 and 30 years. They say, of course, I've never seen anything like this. And it does affect people of all ages. Of course, if you're older, if you have medical comorbidities, you are at a higher risk, but, we've definitely had cases of people in their 30s and 40s and 50s and, people who've succumbed to the illness in their 30s and 40s and 50s. So it's been a journey, but like I said before, hopeful for the future and the improvements, and society as a whole has really rallied. I think people really take this seriously. When I see people wearing masks on the street outside, it's encouraging. The people in the hospital have rallied, nurses and respiratory therapists and facilities management, putting their lives on the line. And everyone's really, bonded together. So those things are encouraging, even in the light of suffering. So.
Has there been a day or a couple days you've gone into work and thought, man, this is almost I didn't sign on for this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. You definitely sign up for medicine knowing that there will be illness and difficulties, and you encounter that every day. But I think this is just more intense and more extreme than we imagined, or I imagined. There's some days where it actually like feels a little bit like a war, you know, at times. And how it like, but still in light of all that, like at least me and my colleagues, like we still, it's like, we're still happy to be there. It's still like what we dreamed of. And there are still like hopeful and optimistic moments. So.
Do we see a light, Joe? Do you think that we're trending upwards? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do see a light. So like I think by the end of this year, we should be able to vaccinate most of the United States population. And I think the CDC even came out with a comment recently that once you're vaccinated, you don't even have to quarantine after an exposure. And once you're vaccinated, yeah, again, like your risk of getting moderate to severe COVID pneumonia is about 0.03%. So people will not be hospitalized and in the ICU with moderate to severe COVID pneumonia. So once that, by the end of this year, like I really think that will be in a different place with a different picture, and like, you know, stadiums will be open and concerts will be had and restaurants will be open inside, like, and you know, we're almost there. So
right on. Is there a what was I going to say? You've had the vaccines, obviously. You've been vaccinated. Can you did you have any side effects? How was it for you? Yada yada.
Yeah. I got the 2 doses of the Pfizer vaccine like the end of December and early January, and pretty much everyone in the hospital has at this point as well. So I had no side effects at all, not even injection site soreness. But out of all my colleagues that got it, I'd say, yeah, roughly like 25 to 50% felt maybe fatigue or a muscle ache or headache or injection site soreness for 1 to 2 days after.
Okay.
So like
beyond that,
shot.
though, there's no more extreme than that, like no lasting side effects, no like more intense side effects. And that's actually kind of a sign that your body is mounting an immune response to the vaccine. So it's a good thing.
Right.
So no, out of like the hundreds of people I know that have gotten it, nothing beyond that, like really mild, like maybe fatigue for a day or so. So that's like another thing that's, you know, really, we're pretty happy about that.
That's awesome.
It seems to be safe in the short term. We don't know, like 10 years from now, like this is the most rapid rollout, you know, of a vaccine ever. But in terms of like efficacy and safety over 6 to 9 months, it seems to be like highly efficacious and, you know, extremely safe.
So David JC in the chat just said, my mom passed away from COVID last week after a month in a hospital fighting. This is really hard to listen to for me, but also just maximum respect and love to Joe and all the frontline workers out there. So listen, I mean, it's a crazy tough time, and what you're doing, obviously, Joe, you know, it's very important, and it's we're not anywhere without you and all the frontline workers. So I don't think it can be said enough. Thank you. But I'm also very, very proud of you. We make a lot of jokes. We made a lot of jokes, but I'm very proud to call you, my cousin.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for my little daughter to call you Uncle Doctor. So,
Aw.
Thank you so much.
yeah, buddy. Thanks for taking the time, man. Enjoy your day off. I don't want to keep you any longer. Go Pens. And Pittsburgh's better than Chicago. I love you, buddy. Take care out there. All right. We'll see you soon.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Dr. Joe Marshalek.
Oh, he's great.
Just an absolute legend. As somebody that's known him since, he was this little, see him as an adult doctor is just the
Yeah.
best. Because I've got about 14 years on the kid. So, but
Where would we be without doctors, dude, and frontline workers? Like, I can't even imagine.
yeah, I know.
What if we had a doctor's shortage the same way we had like hospital capacity shortage? Like, it's just a terrifying thought.
I know.
But yeah, no, that's really great.
An amazing dude and, just good people. That's what we do here at the Good People Association, Sinead. We bring in good people
Love it.
and we try to put a smile on your face every single day. So stay safe out there. Wear your masks. Stay 6 feet. If you live in Australia, you guys did it right.
Seriously.
You beat the system.
Didn't they even stop Amazon? I'm pretty sure they did.
I
They were
mean-
like, no, Amazon. And Amazon's like, you can't do that. And she was like, watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
My cousin George, his brother, Joey's brother, George Marshalek, just chatted in there. I think he's single.
That's great.
Yeah.
If he is single, we need to get him
Yeah.
he just needs to talk for 10 minutes, and I guarantee you.
Women flocking like they're
Flocking.
Flocking.
Also, he has there is something Matthew McConaughey too about
Totally.
about
Yeah.
him.
Oh, man. The cousins are going to love that comment from Sinead. A Matthew McConaughey vibe. Oh, he's never going to stop hearing about it. I will say when he first moved out here, went down, we had a distance hangout at the beach, me and Amanda and him. And there's these two girls that were walking in Hermosa because he lives down in South Bay. And I was like, he's a doctor!
Dude,
Doctor!
just he needs to wear his scrubs.
Yeah.
Give him a golden retriever. Let him walk around.
Yeah, the
done,
dog.
Right?
Dog is 100% Sinead.
100%.
George also just put his Instagram handle in the chat.
That is so tight. I love it.
Just the best. You gotta
Good-
love
good
family.
stuff.
Oh man, George's older brother, amazing guy too, lives in Atlanta. I mean, I'm very lucky that I have such amazing family,
Yeah.
and we're all very, very supportive of one another. Okay, let's do. We're wrapping up here on a Thursday. Sinead de Vries, you're the best.
Oh.
Just the best.
Thank you. Do you want to hear about all the things I do?
You're a
Yeah.
mom.
I am
You're
a
crushing
mom.
You're a
it.
great mom.
You're,
Yeah,
you're growing a
But
garden
whenever
of
I
destiny.
meet people who are just dedicate their lives to other people, it's I'm always I should be more patient. That's always my big takeaway. I'm like, wow, I should be more patient. I actually am an extremely patient person. I think it's one of my best quality traits. I'm not even joking.
Okay.
But I usually am very patient with children and people younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I lack a lot of patience for adults. So I
Yeah,
need to
I
work
think
on that.
That
you
can
know?
happen. I mean, here's the thing: is as we have done this show, and as we've, as we continue to grow on this channel, I'm trying to learn more patience, especially, and I say it all the time, especially behind the wheel of a car. But this morning, I
Yeah,
got
don't
out.
you have weird, crazy road
I
rage?
do, and it runs in my family. My mom's got it. My dad's got it. Well, my dad doesn't have it as much. My mom has it. And my uncle definitely has
I
it.
think you told me your mom is.
Yeah,
It runs in this
Feisty.
company
she will
too.
literally rip your face off.
Yeah,
Mark's
you've
got
also
it.
told me you've had road rage. I don't
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
road rage.
smidge,
So, but here's the thing: is I got out of the car today, and there was a guy in this car, and he was blaring death metal as loud as he could, and he blew out this huge plume of vape smoke from his car. And old Josh would have been like, "Look at this idiot," but new Josh is like, you know what? He's starting his day off how he wants to start his day off, with a positive vape blow and some hardcore rock and roll.
Hey, you
there's
found
no
the
better
good.
way.
See,
You found the good.
find the good. You found the good. That's what we're here for.
That's good.
Speaking of finding the good, Sinead,
Yes.
I think we're going to go to your favorite portion of the program.
Videos?
Nope.
Oh, what is this?
This
Dad
is
jokes.
Dad jokes.
Oh, yes, of
Are you
course.
guys ready for your dad joke of the day? Sinead, I tell
Yes.
dad jokes, but I have no kids. I'm a faux pas.
I'm still waiting for a good one.
I was trying to think of one last night.
That'll land somewhere. Maybe in,
All right.
I don't know.
How about this one? My uncle named his dogs Rolex and Timex. They're his watchdogs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that punchline I saw coming from Miles.
Did
Yeah.
you? Damn it. I was trying to write
Riley
one.
literally went, mm-hmm. Like,
Saw that one.
we all knew what was coming.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's your word of the day, Sinead. Your word of the day, and this I saved this one especially for your return. It's a reference to the greatest city in the planet, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The
Okay.
word of the day is burger. Burger with an H. Burger.
With an H. Where's the
Capital
H?
B. Burger. Burgher. Burger.
I don't know. Wait, it's a reference to
Well, it's
Pittsburgh?
No, but Pittsburgh is spelled with an H, so there you go.
Oh, I see. Oh, so, okay, interesting. So is it something like old-timey then?
Yes. Yes,
That-
it is.
That rang a bell.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, that's how... That Pittsburgh, I just picture it being very, like, colonial looking. Look, when people talk about Boston, immediately, Boston more so than any other city, right? When you picture Boston.
Yeah, totally.
I'm like, oh,
There's
yeah,
a man
it's like
walking down the street with a
1800s.
drum,
Yeah, I'm like,
hitting a flute.
it's the 1800s there, right? You know? They're dropping, like, tea in the water
Yeah,
and doing things on the reg.
Totally.
Yeah. So, burger. What's the part of speech?
It is a noun.
It's a noun?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Does Mark have it?
I think so.
Oh, man, Mark is so good at these.
No, not really.
He's only
You
gotten maybe two.
Man,
Yesterday,
I don't
definitely
know.
not.
I am an incredible speller, but it is a joke in my family that my vocabulary is not the best.
Sinead,
I
I
have-
played Scrabble one time, and my mom's word was tit. So I got that one. Hey, yo. Okay.
Did she know what she was telling?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
like,
okay.
this is the only word I have. Tit.
No, that's great. I love it. Okay, so burger, something old timey. Is it some sort of like historical landmark?
That is incorrect. Mark Riley.
I mean, I'm going with a form of hat, I think.
Incorrect, but I like that. It's
I
very-
thought it was like a burger hat. You know,
Oh,
it
that's
was like
great.
this kind of form hat. Same guy that's going to say, put up your dukes. He's going to put on a burger hat.
Ikaika Shively, the Hawaiian hunk, Aloha Friday, Prince of the Islands. What do you got?
A fancy burger?
Incorrect. The answer we're looking for: a member or citizen of a town, typically a member of the bourgeoisie. So
Yeah,
like
'cause
a
I-
real fancy
I,
member of
in
town.
my head, I said burger bottom boy. I don't know why. I didn't want to say it out loud.
I'm sorry. We're not going to just roll over
Yeah,
that.
that's a.
What?
This is why I kept it in there a little bit longer and then decided to just put it out in the world.
Yeah.
Burger bottom boy.
Yeah, yeah.
We're the Burger Bottom Boys. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Hey,
We're-
that's what it is.
The
Oh,
Soggy
brother.
Bottom. Soggy
Yes.
Bottom Boys.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah.
And Ikaika, before I forget, we got to wish your dad a belated happy birthday.
Yes, I'm working right now to try and get a picture of him to put up
Oh.
of
Buzzing.
When was your dad's birthday?
Yesterday.
yesterday.
Aw.
I didn't realize it was
Aquarius,
the 10th
tell your
yesterday.
dad he is accepted here.
Yeah, into the
in
clan.
The Aquarii.
The age, and this is we do this. This is the waves.
Happy birthday,
We've
Dad.
never practiced this before.
We haven't, but we
But
nailed it.
I
We
didn't.
kinda
I
crushed
wanted
that.
to I wanted to go with it. You know, I didn't want to
Yeah.
leave you hanging.
Okay. So I asked the question yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and my question was, if Bend It Like Beckham wasn't about soccer, what would it be about? Okay. Now, we got a lot of really good answers.
Okay.
As always, everybody, I love your answers. So many creative people. So many, like, I think that I'm fun. I'm not that funny.
Yeah,
you guys,
people are so fast.
I know, right?
Especially on Twitter. Like, people wait no time to make, like, the greatest meme of all time. And I'm like, how? Like, why am I not that funny?
I mean, I think I'm like, ooh, that's pretty good. And then I go on Twitter, I'm like, that's not as good as that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some Stretch Armstrongs, you got a frisbee golf, an extreme game of Twister. You know, it's about the Spice Girls, drifting cars in the UK. I got a lot of flexi straws. Okay, my idea was always a heavy drinking barfly, like John Granberg says. You know, like going on a bender, kind of
yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Prince That Wasn't Promised says well coiffed hair. Bender from Futurama, but my favorite one comes from our girl, Sammy Leon Mendoza, who gave us not only that, but a Patrick gif from SpongeBob SquarePants, the journey of a pole vaulter trying to make it to the Olympics. And that's what I'm here for. Because how many times do pole vaulters really get any kind of credit, right? You had
No.
Sergei Bubka in the 90s. I can't believe I remember that name, who was, I think, the world record holder in the pole vault.
Wow. Wow.
And yeah,
Did you look that up this morning, or
Nope.
did you just know that?
just knew that.
That
Well, you
just
know
came
what?
out the top of your head.
I am very impressed. You
I
are
am
the type
too.
of people that the world needs in order to spread the news about pole vaulting. I always think about people like that, pole vaulting.
Pole vaulting. And a shout out to Jacob Boyer at pirate_angel_, a lawyer bending the rules of law to save the less fortunate from being screwed over by technicalities of the law. It's also a very positive way to look at Bend It Like Beckham, starring Neil Patrick Harris as Beckham.
Is that right?
I don't know.
No, Bend It Like Beckham was
About David Beckham and soccer, and an Indian girl whose family didn't want her to play soccer in
Right.
England.
Yeah, it wasn't about David Beckham though. It's just about
About
her.
about his kick though.
Just trying to curb
Yes.
it.
curve
yes.
it because he
Bend
could
the
bend it.
bend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he could bend the soccer ball or
Or
football.
The
Get it? You got it, Mark. Get it. Go ahead.
I get there.
You got it. Okay, so I watched Jeopardy last night, but I will say this: I forgot to mention on yesterday's main show and yesterday's Positivity Report. So, Jeopardy and Alex Trebek's son and Alex Trebek's wife Jean went to Jeopardy and took all of Alex's suits and have donated them to a charity that helps
it.
homeless men for
Job interviews and stuff?
job interviews.
Oh,
Correct.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And so I would desperately want one of those suits, but I'm so glad that they are going to an even better cause than my closet.
Yeah, can you imagine how many suits he has?
Hundreds.
Yeah, like over the years too, and
Yeah.
that's such a great way for them to like give back as well. I love that. That's a great idea.
Boom. Let's do some videos that make me smile. Sinead, smile. Nailed it.
Don't we look so innocent when we smile like
I
that?
know, just so
Great.
nice and lovely. All right, now this, I'm telling you, can you make this bigger? Or is this as big as we can make it? I should have asked that before. Okay, but you can see that, right, Sinead?
Yeah.
Okay, this made me laugh so hard last night, okay? Start it up. You got So this is Amazon Prime. Yeah. He's sweeping. Here's UPS. Wait, watch. He just takes the door. No, wait. Here comes FedEx. He comes in. We gotta watch it again. This made me laugh so effing hard. Holy moly. when the UPS guy takes the door.
It's so good.
Oh God, it hurts. And you gotta.
That's the best way he goes. The
love he
fact
goes
that he
in the
goes
house.
in the house is like, that's so. There's so many things to that. That's so good.
When he does, what you guys don't hear is I don't know if the guy was intending to say it, but when he comes into the FedEx, he kicks the door and just goes, "Son of a bitch!"
That's great. That's honestly so funny.
Holy! See, this
It
is
goes
the kind
dark.
of stuff. I know this is the
It's
kind
a
of
home
stuff.
invasion.
Yeah.
Just falls. I swear to God, this is what we were talking about, Sinead. It's like
Oh,
we
it's
think
good.
we've done some funny stuff, and then you see this, and this guy is
Dude,
just.
but it's so, like, the reason why it's so funny is because we've all been able to recognize the horrible difference between certain delivery people. But I don't know. I don't think UPS and FedEx people can be that bad. I have seen some horrible video like that Ring people got where the guy like dropped a toilet. This woman had like purchased like a $10,000 ceramic toilet or whatever. He dropped it and you just heard it shatter and he just looked at it and he was like, eh, and he just walked away. But the Amazon Prime delivers, they are so wonderful.
I mean, apparently Amanda saw, I think it was FedEx a couple days ago. We live in an apartment building. The guy just threw the box up the stairs to the main door. Didn't even put it in the door of the apartment. Anybody could just walk by. We live on a very busy street. Just like, oh, here's a package. Boom.
Damn.
I don't want to shout at anybody. I have a friend that works at FedEx, but he's not a delivery guy. So let's
He has a great
let's
video.
try and be better. Let's try and find the good as delivery people out there. As somebody who delivered groceries for a very long time in Los Angeles, you take them in, you make sure everything's taken care of. You don't throw the eggs against the wall and be like, "Good luck cleaning that up."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
Whew.
That video
All
is
right,
so good.
let's do two more. You guys good? Let's just watch that one again. All right, now what? Okay, I watched this. Now I have trouble backing up straight down the driveway. Watch this. This is a time-lapse video, so obviously this is faster. I don't know how these logs don't actually break.
Why would you do this?
See, now they got to get these cars across this dam here, Mark,
No.
this canal.
I understand that.
Now, here's how Josh Macuga would do. He would take the car all the way back as far as he could, set up a ramp, and try and jump it. But this guy is apparently has the steadiest hands in the entire world and is able to get this truck across a canal on sticks. Does that just give you stress?
That's some
stress you
good
out?
work there.
I can't even imagine the type of stress. Where is this? Is this in India?
I don't know. It doesn't tell me the country. TikTok doesn't tell me the country, but it doesn't. Yeah.
This is crazy. I can't find parking during street sweeping.
Wow, this is so impressive.
I know.
Like this is.
I know.
I feel like there is a sport waiting to be
And
made.
Look
Did
at
you
the
see those
log, it's,
other?
like, bending.
I know.
Yeah,
Did you
it's
see the other
horrible.
cars? There's other cars over there too. So I'm guessing they saw this guy and they're like, "Hey, we can do it.
They're like, oh, we got 5 more of these to do.
Let's go."
What?
And how do they get over there? And why do they have to get? There's so many questions here.
So many.
That is wild. Good for him.
I know.
That's very impressive.
Whew.
I could not do that.
Okay, let's go to the last one. All right. So all these dogs in this shelter, which looks like it looks like a furniture store, which is amazing. All these couches, and this woman pets all these dogs on his before bedtime.
Oh, stretchers. Oh, the stretcheroonies.
I mean, come on, look at this little guy.
We love you, buddy.
That's so nice.
I know.
Sweet dreams tonight.
See, this is. She goes, this guy.
Good
He's a
night,
little bit
sweetie.
older.
Love
He's not
you.
waking up. That's
Yeah.
like my dad on a Sunday afternoon nap.
I like,
look at
I
this
like they
guy.
all have sweaters
Aw.
too.
I know they have like all got sweaters. You see how many couches are in there too?
Yeah, that's tight.
I know. Look at this guy, girl. You gotta like think of it as a little BB-8 scarf and sweater. And then here's your last one.
Good night, buddy.
Oh.
Come on. I swear, if I had,
Good night, babe.
I should have maybe been a vet or like a.
I wanted to be a vet for a while.
Yeah, I don't think I could have passed any of the science classes. I think that's the problem.
That's
we
what happened to
learned
me.
From my Like, I took organic chemistry freshman year at Penn State.
Oh.
First test, I got like an 11%. I was like, okay, I guess I'll be a business major.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, chemistry was my by
Yikes.
far like the downhill for me. I think once I hit chemistry, I was like, oh, I don't understand the things I thought I understood. You know,
Yeah, oh yeah.
that was the turning point.
You seen E.T.?
Yeah.
You know, when Elliot decides to release all the frogs?
Yeah.
That was pretty much me.
Ah.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't do the frog thing. I was like, be free.
I had to dissect
Rat.
a pig
Pig.
because
Yeah.
I was in honors biology
Me
ninth
too.
grade.
Hit it.
But then I got
Nailed
a
it.
C the whole year. So then it was like I might as well be in regular science classes and get an A, you know?
I hear you. Been there, Sinead. Been there. Ikaika Shively, Hawaiian Hunk, Prince of the Islands, Aloha Hot Friday. What do you got?
I had to dissect a crab once, and that was hard
crab?
because you have to do it when they're alive, like cut their
Oh,
shell.
Ooh.
Yeah,
When they're alive.
yeah. Because if you do it when they're
Did you eat it
dead,
after?
You eat it. I was like, yeah,
I
when you do it
wanted
when you're
to take
dead,
it
that's called
home.
eating crabs in Maryland. Yeah.
some kids got lobsters. I was like, oh, I'll take that
Oh,
home.
man. I will say this. We had to train mice to these Olympic events in senior year biology.
Dude, what high school did you go to?
Upper St. Clair. Yeah, Hogwarts.
You had to train them to do Olympic activities?
Yeah, like they went through the one, then through a maze. My mouse was really good. And then I was told
Wow.
I was like, what happens to the mice at the end? Can we take them home? He's like, no, I feed them to the snake. And I was like, the what?
It's a
Did you-
circle of life, dude. It's a
Yeah,
circle of life.
Circle of life.
Did you go to high school in like a movie universe high school? Like,
My high school was pretty movie universe. Like, it
I was
like
gonna say
very
that only
idyllic.
happens in when you watch like movies and you're like, this is so annoying.
Yeah.
This is not how it is.
Uh-huh.
Like your high school was how it is.
Uh-huh.
did you climb up those ropes? 'Cause
Uh-huh.
I've never done that.
Climb
Did
the
you
rope
climb
in
up
gym.
the ropes in gym class?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, seriously, this is
Yeah.
blowing my mind.
I was very lucky. Our high school was absolutely amazing.
Were your cheerleaders like
Smoking
like
hot. And all my
and
very
like
good
popular?
friends.
Like all the
Yeah.
popular people were like prom king and prom queen and
Yep.
see our high school was like not like that.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
ev-
go ahead. What do you
Did
more
everyone look like
questions?
they were like 40 years old too, or what?
No,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
actually
that's
very good.
90210.
If as like a 29-year-old, I would not have been cast at your
Yes.
high school because I would look too young.
Too young. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of like we were all theater nerds too.
Oh,
so
dude,
so the jocks and everybody, it's like there
That's
wasn't
how ours
any.
was. There
yeah.
wasn't like that. And also, like my high school, by the time I graduated, had like 4 Grammys or something. Like we were only good at like theater and music, and
Yeah.
that was it. And women's soccer, we were national champions.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like
Damn.
3 years in a row.
Our women's soccer team was really good too. My friend Mandy Law was the captain.
Yeah.
She could her throw in. She could do that flip throw in.
Yeah.
You ever seen that? Where
Oh,
they
yeah,
flip?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you guys out on the craziest chat I've ever seen in here.
Okay.
And I got to get this right. Trey T. In college anatomy class, we had to dissect a cat.
Oh, please
Messed
stop.
me
Yeah,
up.
I know. I've heard about that. But I mean, like, the seniors in my high school had to do cadavers. You know,
Oh my
they did dead bodies.
God.
They went like the top.
Well, what
20
high school did you go to?
Wabansie Valley in
Ah.
Aurora, Illinois. No, but
Gorgeous
they,
this time
yeah,
of year.
the the top 20%. So all year, people like my best friend wanted to be a brain surgeon, right? So like she worked her whole year to be in the top 20% because
You could get a cadaver.
yeah, and like you get to go to a morgue, and that's a really big deal for somebody who wants to like be a brain surgeon.
That's where Josh is in the bottom 3%. Oh, you get to go to a morgue. I'm out.
I'd be like, oh,
See you there,
I
Josh.
choose to fail. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm going with you.
I
No.
I think
Swords.
a cat is still worse, though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I think a cat's worse.
That's why a cat. The Hawaiian hunk.
I was
Oh,
just about
Friday,
to
what do you
say,
got?
yeah, my brother had to dissect a cat too, and he
No.
also went to the morgue, and they got to see an autopsy. And apparently, my dad worked at a morgue for a little bit.
Your
too.
dad works at a morgue. Let's get
Yeah.
your dad on the show.
It's
Jeez,
it
are you
was his
kidding me?
birthday yesterday. His name is Ko, correct?
Yes.
Ko.
Have you seen the
K.O.
autopsy of Jane Doe?
Not yet. You keep telling me to watch it. I haven't yet.
Scariest damn movie.
Like the Sumter County ones, or the just a regular
The
Jane
au-
Doe?
Wait, the autopsy of Jane Doe is a horror movie
Oh.
with Brian Cox, and it's
We gotta give a shout out to Ranger Donald, our buddy. Student tried to stab a teacher in my school.
It's
Guys,
not
we're
quite
not-
the
we're
same
not
thing.
funny.
It's not funny. We did a teacher feature today, guys, but we're trying to put a smile on your face every single day. Listen, if you like death metal and you like vaping in the morning, you do that. You treat every morning like Shark Week. Go out there, be positive, and figure out how to make your life the best it can be. That's all we want you to do. Go out, hug somebody from a distance, give a virtual hug, tell them you love them. Be good people. Sinead de Vries, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Any last advice on dad stuff?
Just don't freak out. You're gonna be fine, dude. Just expect to know nothing, even though you feel like you've learned everything. You know, because the things that you have to learn on your own. You know,
Boom.
you just have to do it that way.
Well said. Mark Riley, Kaika Shively, the Wine Hunk, Aloha Friday. We will be back this afternoon for the afternoons, 4:30 Pacific time. Myself, Amanda, her last episode before she's really not supposed to drive anymore.
Before she's like, "Screw you, husband, I'm not coming."
I'm out. Ken Knapsack, we're going to stream virtual reality tomorrow, and then Josh Pretty tomorrow with Brent Smith and Eric Bass from Eric Bass from Shinedown tomorrow. Thank you all for being here. We're here every single day. Oh, and tomorrow, Claire McNear, writer of the Jeopardy book, answers in the forms of questions. So very excited to talk to her. Thank you all again for being here. Find the good. We'll see you tomorrow.